You might tell a white lie, well, it's not a white lie because you know which papers have shown up, so you can quickly put on such and such paper are covering this. They think, oh, fuck, we're going to have to cover it and all, otherwise it looks like we've missed it. So that, you know, there's a bit of an onus to the public with local newspapers. The photo is the story, a picture tells 1,000 lies. It certainly fucking does, and they're telling millions of lies then. And that's just the tip of a huge iceberg, believe me. I could have been here for hours showing you the press cuttings that resulted before the event, after the event, and there's still an angle to come on this, because when the Guinness Book of Records write back to me, and Ripley's Believe It or Not, who've been sent copies of all the press cuttings about that thing from all the papers, along with a statement from Blaze Tapp, the Manchester Evening News journalist who timed it, and bore witness that it happened in 38 seconds. If they verify it, then all these papers will do follow-ups again at the fact that it's now been verified by the Guinness Book of Records. Now this didn't have a hypnotic handle, although it did say hypnotist on there, and it had my name. And you'd be surprised how many people have typed that in and got in contact with me. Oh, well, hypnotism, because I've seen that guy Darren Brown on TV. So even though it wasn't directly aimed at therapy or stage work, it has brought money. But where it's really paid off was that me and my good friend, Peter Hill, wanted to publicise Simply Pure Water Limited, supplying bottled water machines to offices. Just set up the business. We didn't want to spend thousands of pounds on advertising. What's the point when you've got your own poor man's Max Clifford at your side? And for less than 400 quid set-up costs for hiring everything, laying on butties for them and drinks, because you know journalists love to show up for a free lunch. There's no such thing as a free lunch unless you're a journalist, because then they go to all of them. And sadly that's true. Especially if there's alcohol. If it's alcohol available, they love that. Including hiring the stuff, because we had to bring in a specialist escape artist. I've done magic for years, knew how to escape, but at the end of the day this was stuff that I never escaped out of stuff underwater. So we brought in an outside expert. All in, we did the full thing on 400 quid. Now that is just the tip of the iceberg. I could fill another 3 or 4 of them with the press cuttings. There is probably in the region of 20 grand's worth of adverts for Simply Pure Water on that flip chart there now, if you paid for them as things. The photo's the story. Okay, it says in the article Simply Pure Water, and it says the area of Huddersfield. They're the key facts, and they've got to put them in. People are clever enough to pick up the phone and dial direct inquiries and say, Simply Pure Water Limited, Huddersfield please. So you make sure you're listed with direct inquiries, don't you? That's how you're going to get your feedback. Also, I wear a t-shirt with Simply Pure Water Limited on it, don't I? With the telephone number on and website address. We set up the water tank so that it is in front of a big fuck-off sign that you can... It's going to be very difficult to get out of camera shot. It says simplypurewater.co.uk. Now the photo is the story, I'm aware of that. Okay, I'm not telling you to go away and chain yourself up here, but learn from this example of how I put this together. Because it's the same way you put together any media event. Okay? The photo is the story. So they're either going to want photographs of me before I go in the tank, in which case the t-shirt's important, or I'm getting chained up over here, because they might be able to cut the sign out. Or they want photographs of me chained up so you can't see the t-shirt, but by then I'm in front of the tank so you've got the sign. Or they're going to want photographs as I'm in the tank, or they're going to want photographs as I get out, but then obviously the t-shirt's visible again. Well, as it happens, they thought it was so fucking stupid, which it was, that this one used the one with the t-shirt. You can see the free phone number, 0800, if you're looking close, 3899412, you can just about make it out. On the back here, between the 3 photographs you can make out, because it says Simply Pure in there, that it's simplypurewater.co.uk. 20 grams worth of free advertising, plus there's about another 2 of them, plus, sheets worth. Plus, oh, it will get in again. Even if the Guinness Book of Records turn it down, it will get in again. Because then it's local hypnotist who did he risk life in vain? That's off the top of my head as the headline. Did he risk life in vain? Question mark. Local hypnotist, Jonathan Royle, who recently, readers will remember, did X, Y, Z, and fucking killed himself for Simply Pure Water Limited. Advert in again. We'll recycle these photographs. They'll have to, but I'll refuse to do any more photographs for them. So they'll have to use the ones that are on file that have got the adverts on. He's dismayed that he risked his life and set a new world record, escaped in 38 seconds. The Guinness Book of Records say that they won't verify it. He can only assume it's because they don't want to encourage the public to try out such dangerous feats. Well, just a minute, Simply Pure Water's got another ad. Thousands of pounds worth of publicity for less than 400 quid. And a hell of a lot extra in the bank for Simply Pure Water, I can tell you. Here to do the water escape for reasons that will become obvious in a minute. But you could find a local magician who wants publicity, who may do some escapology but has never done a water escape, or he has. You've contacted him, he has, but he's never had any publicity in that area. So we can say he's never done one, because he had a phobia of water. And he wants to try this water escape, but he's brought in you, the therapist, to cure his phobia, and today's the test day. And when the press get there, you're going to do the last bit of mumbo-jumbo bullshit to cure them. They're going to get chained up, they're going to escape. We're really happy this hypnotist helped me. They're going to grab hold of you before you're going to chain them up, and they're going to grab hold of you as soon as they get out the tank, so you're on that photo. So they can't just say local magician cures phobia. They've got to include you, advert for your business. You could get a juggler, inspired of who juggles, but who's not that well known in the area, but wants some publicity, and say, look, you've got a fear of fire. He'll say, I fucking haven't. I juggle fire clubs at the end of my act every night. He said, no, you've got a fear of fire, okay, as far as the local newspaper is concerned. And tomorrow night, you're going to do this show at such and such a place where they're going to come to and take photographs of you. Why they're going to do that, he's going to say, because he's going to think you're a right lady. He said, well, I'm a hypnotist, we both need PR, this will work for the pair of us, the benefit to you is publicity for your act, more bookings, the benefit to me is publicity, therefore more clients. You're scared of fire, I'm going to cure your phobia, and for the first time on stage, you're going to juggle fire torches. The fact he's been doing it for the past 20 years, fucking irrelevant. It's a press story. It's an entertaining press story that will get in and give you thousands of pounds worth of publicity. In fact, these are so mad that some of these could make national press. Once it's been in the local, the nationals will pick up on it as well. How's about getting a magician who does tricks, yeah? And he does tricks for kids' parties, but he doesn't dress in clown gear. And if you were doing this locally with a local kids entertainer, he'd have to not have done shows dressed in clown's gear, otherwise this would be too easy to find out. And he's come to you to cure his fear of clowns due to the high demand he's got from parents for a clown to perform at their children's party. That's fucking brilliant publicity for him. He's a magician, he does kids' parties, and he's also going to start doing clown shows as well. And it's great PR for you, because obviously he's cured the phobia, which is proven by the fact that he's dressed up as a clown on the photograph shaking your hand. It sounds out of the box, but I'm using out of the box bizarre examples to try and get it well and firmly embedded in your head how valuable this information is I'm giving you. Now, the reason that says on there, this other sheet, the picture tells 1,000 lies. Now, you'll find out in a minute. Bearing in mind, you've seen the press release, there would have been stuff in the press in advance, blah, 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 blah. It's not, something like this really doesn't quite have the same impact when you watch it on video as being stood outside in the middle of Huddersfield on a cold February day. There is 2 degrees outside, where the water in the tank is actually less than freezing, because the fire brigade have just squirted it all in. Where the tank isn't the one you were supposed to be using, because the company that delivered it, you were going to get mentioned as sponsoring the event as well, tie-in, so that we can get the stuff for free, some of it. That's a point there. If you can involve other companies in it, mention their name, you'll quite often get stuff for free. It ended up being about that high. We ordered like a 6 foot deep by 5 foot wide tank. If it was that deep, I'm going to be chained up and chucked in. Yeah, right, I don't think so. So I ended up getting an industrial wheelie bin from up the side of Simply Pure Water Limited, getting the fire brigade back out again. They were really nice guys, they didn't actually charge us, which was really nice of them. They normally do for mad call outs like that. Sprayed it all out, it was full of gunk. That got filled with water. All the chains and stuff had been hired in. I saw them literally like it says in these press articles and in the after the event press release about half an hour before I actually did it. Yes, I was chained up in them only twice in advance to rehearse it, not in water. Basically at the point I was chucked in water, underwater. I had never escaped from this stuff underwater ever before, let alone submerging myself under less than freezing cold water for any length of time. And as a professional lifeguard told me after the event, it's lucky I didn't have a heart attack. I am actually genuinely very lucky to be alive. So I'm not available for hire if you want to do the water phobia angle. You'll have to get somebody else, I'm afraid. But there'll be plenty of people dying for publicity, literally. And don't worry if they do fuck themselves up and kill themselves. We'll get so much more publicity. At least they died happy. Your comment is at least they died happy, they achieved, they got over their phobia, didn't they? Oh, this is part of this is the setting up to see what's happening. When the water cooler type, the fact it's the wheelie bin, sign at the back, number. Fast forward slightly. You can see all the change in here. Press starting to show up, but basically kind of stand all over the side. Going inside now, they have some free beer and sandwiches. Always
You recommend free beer and sandwiches for the...
Oh yeah, the show. The story they might not have shown up to cover, they'll show up if there's butters. That can be a deal breaker. And the good looking with cans of lager. Yeah.
Did you not have any public watching you as well, or was it just...
Yeah, it was, yeah, there was, ironically, a lot of the people on the industrial estate ended up coming out. We ended up with a crowd of about 200 people, of which 40 were journalists. The rest were people who just, the bosses must have said you can go outside and see this lunatic. But we also dealt with the odd few people who travelled just to come to see it. But that was never the intention, it was just to get publicity as it happens. That's what it turned into. Well, the press didn't know what's going on. They'd been told on the press release 2 o'clock prompt. In fact, they wanted to get there at 1 o'clock, and now they're saying we need to get off to another story. Sorry, at 2 o'clock. If you want to see me, possibly die, if you want to lose the chance, photographs of me before I'm dead, which will be the national press photography, which will pay big money for it, then fuck off there. Otherwise, stay here till 2 o'clock. And when they do, you know you've got a story that's going to get covered.
That's the intro.
Freezing, raining, cold, every day. What we're going to attempt this afternoon is to break a world record. We're going to attempt that. Doesn't mean we will do it, we're going to attempt it. And it's my pleasure, yes, to take it on. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the gentleman who will not only be telling you everything as it takes place, what will go on, what will do, etc. We'll also be presenting the unusual as usual.
We will also just be turning the telly off and back on momentarily in an attempt to get rid of that so you can see properly. There you go. You seem like you've got an idea, this thing. We don't tell them that every time to set an old record, actually break one. In truth, there isn't actually a record like this being done before. Generally, it's a set of handcuffs in some kind of metal container with a padlock on. One set of handcuffs and one padlock. There's a couple of set of handcuffs, or one handcuffs and some chain chucked in a river. What we've got for you today, 40-foot of very strong chain. We have American and English padlocks, very old. You've seen the old pictures of Houdini, leg irons, which are actually going to go up here to restrict my arm movements. films where they're getting dragged along by a chain. That's what it is, an X-lane car. Now, before everyone asks, oh, where's the keys inside the tank? Aside from the fact it's absolutely freezing, the keys will be outside the tank. So how do I get them off? Well, obviously you've got to hit the locks. That is permissible, by the way, by the end of the records. Now, it would be very easy. Houdini was famous for having optics under his skin regurgitating. I'll be honest with you, I can't regurgitate. Basically, I've looked on the website, done a bit of research on Houdini, got a bit of a script together that sounds good bullshit, name dropping, it gives them some material for their articles. I'm just going to pass forward to the point where I'm getting chained up because I've got so much stuff that I really want to cover before the end of the day, so we're on track for tomorrow.
So you haven't done this before, Escapology?
No, in a word. It's the single most stupid publicity stunt I've ever done. I nearly did get killed. Visual T-shirt with a number on, blah blah blah. Just kind of small bit. You're doing something like this, trying to get the media involved, so in a minute when the padlocks are done up, we get magistrate, the new journalist to come over and check that they're genuinely locked. Well, he's got a bit of an exclusive then on the others, hasn't he? Because he can say he was the one who verified it and timed it. That way they make the article a bit bigger because they can make it personal.
Where did you hire those chains from?
An Escapologist.
Yeah, because we haven't got any.
Oh, stop me up your feet, Colin. This is serious law. So eventually I get lowered in. At this point I'm seriously crapping myself. I'm very quickly trying to think, how can I get them to lift me out of the tank now and not do it, still get good publicity. It's simply pure law prevention.
How ridiculously! This is like
I'm not acting.
the goal wants to get himself cold and then come back. We don't start timing then until the second time. Piece of advice in life. Don't take up underwater escapology.
I'm basically trying to work out how can I get them to get me out,
Ladies and gentlemen.
still get good PR out of this. The trouble is, even though I'm a very sharp-eyed PR person, I couldn't think of a way out of it. There's only one, death, not getting out.
Aaron. Yes.
You'll notice in a minute when I press play again, I'm still fully chained up. Now, the press articles, there's only one of them that actually said here. No, it doesn't actually. No, it doesn't. It says at the end I come out looking like Death Warned. None of them, those journalists, mention that I came up, I went underwater and came back again, looking scared shitless, not out the chains, and had to give it a second attempt. That would not make a good story. The story is either I've got out, or I'm dead. They're the only stories that are going to get run. So that never got printed. That's why a picture can tell a million lies, as you've seen off this video.
That is ridiculously cold. Ridiculously cold. However, I am now entirely covered with water, so I'm suddenly now feeling like I'm warming up.
But ultimately it comes to the point where I can't think of a way out.
Actually, such a shock that
In case you're not familiar with this sort of thing, cramps are really important. Posters will read what you're saying. If you've got a cramp in the back of your leg, then you've been having a night of lust.
Has he done it? Yeah, I think he has. I'm not actually acting there, unfortunately. I am actually trying to hold myself up. It felt like my legs were going to give way. And I had took in lungfuls of water. And I did actually think...
I'm panicking. The bleeding photographer shouting, "Ain't
Anyway,
that? Can you get out the way for the photograph?"
That's why I'm not available for such a stunt. But at this point, who spotted the, not deliberate mistake, but the fact of what happened? I'm not fucking out of everything. No, this is the beauty. Rewind it. Just unfortunate that this camera angle looks better than it really was. Go back, play.
You've been having a night of lust.
Indeed.
Come on, back on that water, guy.
Only one. Oh, fuck off. How the fucking hell?
Exit now. Exit.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, good. Right. Now, just ever so slightly. Rewind now. Back. I've got a set of leg irons here, handcuffs here. Now the next slave car I've actually got, I've got this padlock, I've got the other one, so the chain's kind of falling down me. I didn't get the other padlock undone because by then I got bloody water in my chest. Started running on talking. So there's only actually one wrist come undone. There's still these leg irons here and this set of handcuffs there on one side of this handcuff. But the leg irons were loose enough anyway to fall down here. But, so visually up here it looks like they're not on. But they're here, but still obstructed by the other handcuffs. But fortunately, the camera angle, it's not that obvious. And more importantly, that's why a picture tells 1,000 bloody lies, 1 million lies in this case.
Who are the guys holding the lid?
They were simply pure water
That
staff.
helps.
But at this point,
It's passing out there.
yeah, genuinely.
I was shitting myself, I was.
Right. I am also thinking, oh shit. Yes, I'm alive, but I have fucked up this publicity stuff. This is not going to be good publicity. However, in a minute, it seems to come on and he blocks me from view. And the way the journalists were stood, the Manchester Evening News guy, if you think this is the water tank, was positioned here. Now, I swear to this day that he could see everything from the angle to see that it did not happen the way he wrote it up and the way everyone else wrote it up. But he had the stopwatch. He's the one who checked the logs. Not going to lose out on the chance of a story like that, is it? He'd done it in 38 seconds. He declares now, the moment he's declared that, all the other journalists are obliged to print the same as him. Otherwise they look daft in comparison to the Manchester Evening News. So, he'd never have said to me that he'd spotted that, but you know, I kind of think he did. I am now thinking something about, hang on, I might be able to get these employees from it, because I'm below the level of stuff you can't see at the time. So I'm actually now getting the rest of the stuff on. To the point where eventually I've got those banging. That is the chains I don't manage to get to it. I'm moving my legs on water. That isn't acting.
I am actually out of stuff, though.
The moral of that story, aside from don't submerge yourself in water, get somebody else to do it and you get half of the glory, is how you deal with the media, and more importantly, how, even if it fucks up, if they can get the photograph they want that ties in with the story that is better than the fact it fucked up, which means that with that photograph, the photo with the story, then, well, they had the photographs before me chained up. Once I got pulled out, they've got a photo of me out, that's it.
It also demonstrates that seeing is not believing, believing is seeing.
Yeah.
When you believe something, even if it doesn't happen, you think it happens.
Exactly. And, oh no, it's alright, we're not at root time yet. Right, because I don't know whether we've got the telly tomorrow, and just as a bit of a clue for you guys, we've got all that to work through between today and tomorrow. So we've kind of not even scratched the surface. I'm going to show you some videos. Now these videos, I will occasionally keep pausing. Some of this, hopefully by now you will think, he's showing me that because that ties in with like what I was saying before about diplomas. Some of you will think, what the fuck is he showing me that for? Well, I'll give you a pointer at the time you're looking at it, and then tomorrow when we cover it, like, for example, hypnotising animals, as daft as it sounds, I've only took it to a low level, but pushed as a big media angle, you could go worldwide TV on that and make a bloody fortune. And sell that bloody so-called subliminal tape specifically formulated for animals, or it's